And good morning and welcome to the VSA Capital 5 Minute Morning Miner on Wednesday, the 22nd of February. I hope everybody enjoyed their pancakes yesterday, Shrove Tuesday. Did you have pancakes last night, Paul?
We did. The wife made a very nice bunch of different kinds as well, so very tasty.
Excellent. Right, let's turn to mining. The big one, obviously, actually sort of released before ours for us because it was released in Australia, was a Rio Tinto, where obviously the headline number looked horrific, but that was sort of expected. But with iron ore being weak demand in China. But do you have any take on it, Paul?
Yes, and as you say, there were some concerns around. It wasn't a fully bullish report, but the bottom line for investors, consolidated sales for the year were still up 25%. For versus 2020, but they were down by 13% on a year-on-year basis. Profit after tax had fallen by 41% year-on-year to just 12.4 million. So you would expect, I think, that with a decline in overall prices on what its main materials are, which is also copper and iron ore, just like BHP's yesterday, you would expect this kind of a reversion to mean, I guess, as far as revenues is concerned. But the bottom line is still on a 3-year, 5-year trend and outlook. It's still higher and higher, both on revenues and earnings, I would say.
Yeah, look, the market's marked off about 2.5% today, and it's trading at about 60,000 or so, just over. But, you know, you mustn't forget this has run up since last October from about 4,400. So it's had an almost a sort of 50% rise in the last sort of 3-4 months. So not surprisingly, a little bit of profit taking. It's trading quite nicely in a range actually between about 4,400 and 6,600. But I mean, I think longer term, we are expecting to see, you know, the mining sector really, it's got to go into a bit of a super cycle just because people haven't been investing in it. And you need it. You cannot have a transitional energy revolution without the mining sector doing well, unfortunately, whether the green lobby like that or not. Although Rio in their statement were talking a lot about how they are going to use electric trucks and that sort of thing and how they are going green themselves. And again, that's something we're going to see a lot out of the mining space. They also talked about, but I don't know if you saw it, their Jadar lithium project in Serbia, and still trying to get that going because that could be a major lithium supply in the future and make Rio a real battery metals company. So having said that, I can also tell you that, you know, prices in China for lithium are absolutely falling out of bed at the moment. You have to be a bit careful because there's a difference between the spot price and the long-term price, but there's no question doubt that the lithium market at the moment is pretty weak. And if you've been following our advice and taking profits, which we sort of said about at the start of the year, you would have done very nicely from our advice. But on that note, Paul, what else do you want to talk about?
Well, we also know why ATAC Resources, the TSX-listed explorer in the Yukon, turned down the bid from that had been made for it by fellow Yukon gold miner Victoria Gold on Monday, and that's because a bid has come out into the public domain here on Tuesday, yesterday, that Hecla Mining is bidding for ATAC and has actually up the offer to 14 cents a share, which is a little bit higher than what was being offered by Victoria. So that's the reason, and it looks like the management of ATAC is more conducive to accepting on that offer.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's we love a few bids in the space. Now you love your diamonds, Paul. We've got 2 bits of news. We've got Petra, I think, had an investor presentation yesterday, and Lucara had results today. Want to talk us through those 2?
Yes, that's right. First of all, Petra Diamonds, UK quoted diamond miner with 3 world-class operating mines out of 4 total operating mines, all of which are in Africa. Interim results there were showing that they were feeling that they had a pretty stabilized business model now, and the debt is is falling as of the financials being reported and so forth. They're also feeling rather confident that the outlook for 2023 on rough diamond prices is going to be at least supportive, if not a little bit better still. And that's a good sign as well, because they've had these debt issues which have impaired the company to a significant degree last several years and really eroded shareholder value. So you have to say that if the market is turning and the corporate story is turning for Petra, is now Petra a takeover target, is what I would have to say at this stage. Full year results also released today by the TSX listed diamond miner in Botswana. That's Lucara Diamonds. They had a total of $213 million in revenue, of which $9 million was through their bespoke large diamond internet relationship, which they call Clara. Net income increased from 40 million or 9 cents per earnings per share from 24 million. And the company said that they had management had said that they thought that the firm had made all the targets for 2022 that they had asked of it. Cash and equivalents at the end of the year, 26 million. And the Karowe underground development to retire the open pit in due course there on the operation in Botswana is proceeding according to plan so far.
Very good. Anything else you want to do? Urgent? If not, I think we'll call it a day.
It is important to report the Shanta Gold release today. This on the new resource estimate for their West Kenya project, which is really the prime property for them now on the pre-development side. It is a total West Kenya resource now 1.76 million ounces, of which 1.2 million is in the indicated category. Important point is that the average grade is over 10 grams per ton. That's 3 times the grade of their current milling grade of their mine in southwest Tanzania. And because it's in the indicated category, I think we can assume very easily that they will proceed immediately into feasibility studies.
Kenya, very interesting. I'm off to Kenya fairly soon. Fair enough. We'll call it a day there, Paul, and we'll speak again tomorrow. Thanks.
See you then.